as you can see, my presentation is on Earth, Wind and Fire, and you may be asking yourself, how did they get the name Earth, Wind and Fire? Well, the name Earth, Wind and Fire was created from one of the band members in the group, whose name is Maurice White, and we'll talk a little bit more about Maurice later on in the presentation. But Maurice, whose astrological sign, Sagittarius, has a primary elemental quality of fire and seasonal qualities of earth and air, hence the omission of water, the fourth classical element, and from this he named the band Earth, Wind and Fire. The band's music contains elements of African, Latin American, funk, soul, pop, and rock music, jazz, and other genre. The band is known for the dynamic sound of their horn section and the interplay between the contrasting vocals of Philip Bailey's falsetto and Maurice White's tenor. I have actually watched this group and they are outstanding. They are magnificent to watch, and they're so energetic. They're very talented musicians. There's about 10 of them in the group, I believe, and they're all very skilled at their instruments. What I love about them is they all play, they all sing, and they all dance, and their music is live. You know, it's really it's something you don't find too much in today's music. But Earth, Wind and Fire were among the first pop culture superstars to embrace their African heritage proudly. From their use of African instruments to their on-stage robes and dashikis to the iconography of their album covers, they drew explicit connections between Black Americans and their ancestors around the world. This is Maurice White. He's the genius behind the Earth, Wind and Fire, and Maurice was singing gospel at the age of 6, and then at the age of 11 he took up drums and formed a band with schoolmate Booker T. Jones. I'll be mentioning certain names throughout the presentation because these names have also are well known in the industry and very popular. In 1960, Maurice relocated to Chicago and studied music, composition, and percussion at Roosevelt University. He had the intention at the time of becoming a music teacher. Maurice used to record between 1963 and 1965 for the Chess imprint, where he worked alongside Fontella Bass, Betty Everett, Jackie Wilson, Billy Stewart, the Radiants, the Dells, Curtis Mayfield, and the Impressions, and Etta James, just to name a few. In 1967, at the age of 22, he replaced Red Holt in the Ramsey Lewis Trio. Ramsey introduced Maurice to the kalimba, an African thumb piano that would prove to play a large part in his future ventures. By 1969, he had left Ramsey ranks and began a songwriter partnership with keyboardist Don Whitehead and singer Wade Flemings. Earth, Wind and Fire were one of the most musically accomplished, critically acclaimed, and commercially popular funk bands of the 70s. Conceived by drummer, band leader, songwriter, kalimba player, and occasional vocalist Maurice White, Earth, Wind and Fire's all-encompassing musical vision used funk as its foundation, but also incorporated jazz, smooth soul, gospel, pop, rock, and we mentioned these earlier before, blues, African music, and later on disco. Here's a small object that helps illustrate the complexity of Earth, Wind and Fire's achievement: an African thumb piano called a kalimba. The kalimba is clearly close to Maurice White's heart. He introduced it to millions of listeners by making it a centerpiece of Earth, Wind and Fire's spectacular concerts. It was a staple of the group's albums. White even named his production company Kalimba Productions. Their first album was called La Kalimba. The kalimba represents my link to Africa, White says. He explains, quote, "It was my way to taking part of that culture and spreading it all over the world," unquote. Beyond all that, though the instrument is a tangible example of Earth, Wind and Fire's special magic by naturally synthesizing various music and cultures into innovative, accessible songs. I'm about to play a video of Maurice White playing the kalimba, and the instrument along with his band sounds very soothing, beautiful sound, and here it is right here that I'd like to play for you. was the beautiful sounds of the kalimba with Maurice White. Excellent job. This last video is one of my favorite videos that demonstrate Earth, Wind and Fire and playing their percussion and also their energetic and a lot of dancing and this song. The song's called September, but also on this slide are a lot of hits that Earth, Wind and Fire have made very popular. They've had many hits in their time, and I've just put several of them here on the website on this presentation. After Love Is Gone, Let's Groove, Reasons, Sing a Song, I Write a Song, Shining Star, That's the Way of the World. So this song again is called September.